Welcome to another episode on the White Dog Garage YouTube channel. My name is Bob, and this episode is the second and final part of the making of a better lamp base, and I hope you enjoy it. The design is a simple crane arm on a pivot base. The crane arm was made in part 1, and in part 2 we're making the base mount with a pivot shaft to match. The top of the new pivot shaft has been made much longer than the original, which hopefully will stop any floppiness developing in the crane arm. Here I have aligned and positioned the two bracket plates for the base in a vise so that they can be tack welded together. Although typically done on a larger scale with more plates, this process is called stack welding for obvious reasons. I make two short weld tacks across the bottom of the brackets. The bottoms will eventually be welded to the base plate, and this will hide any evidence of the tack welds. The two brackets, now fixed in alignment, will have a hole drilled through them which will hold the pivot tube. Once the position of the pivot tube is known, the centre is marked and the drilling process commenced. Like the tack welding process, this is also known as stack drilling. I work my way through three sizes of drill to get to the final diameter, which is a drill size of 22mm or 7/8 of an inch. This is slightly oversized for the outside diameter of the piece of pipe that will be used to form the pivot tube. With a steady downward pressure and regular dabs of cutting fluid, the big drill makes easy work of the final hole size. Finally, a quick check to make sure the holes are the right size for the tube to pass through them. Welded only along one edge, the two plates are easily split apart by driving a cold chisel from the opposite side down through the middle of the two plates. Here I have assembled the components of the mounting bracket ready for welding. The pivot tube runs through the holes that we have made in the two triangular brackets, which in turn rest on the base plate. I have positioned a V-block over the top of the pivot tube so that I can clamp the whole assembly, holding it tight for welding. So my first job is to tack weld all the components together, and once I've done this I will remove it from the clamp and weld it out. Off camera, I fully welded the bracket assembly and ground the excess angular pieces off the sides of the triangular brackets. Here I have set the bracket up in the bench mill to bore out the centre of the pivot tube. I've attached the bracket to a right angle block with the pivot tube positioned so as to be perpendicular to the mill table. With the drill bit concentric to the pivot tube, I then locked the table and proceeded to bore out the pivot tube to an inside diameter of 18mm or about 11/16 of an inch. The drill size was chosen to be sufficiently larger than the inside diameter of the tube to ensure a nice even round cylinder for the pivot shaft to sit in. With the tube drilled out, I use a telescopic gauge and micrometer to determine the new inside diameter. I show only one measurement here, but I actually take 3 measurements, both vertically and again horizontally, to determine the inside diameter that I will use to make the pivot shaft. Next, I moved on to machining the pivot shaft. With the piece of round mounted in the lathe, I proceeded to machine one end of it down to the diameter I needed to give a sliding fit in the pivot tube. After my first cut, I measure the diameter of the shaft. I then zero the graduated dial on the cross slide, and this gives me a reference point from which I will machine the shaft down to the final diameter. My heavy cuts are usually 1 or 2 millimeters off the diameter, that's 40 to 80 thou, and I use a lighter or spring cut for the final pass. Finally, I gave the machined end a quick polish with emery paper. Not very polished, but anyhow, it'll do. And that was that for that bit. I am using a circlip to hold the shaft in the bracket, so transferring the length of the pivot tube to the shaft, I make a mark where the circlip will sit. I'm using a parting tool to make the groove that the circlip will sit in. The groove will end up a little too wide for the circlip, but it won't really matter as it won't be under load, so this is okay. After touching off the parting off tool on the shaft, I zero the graduated dial on the cross slide and proceed to cut a 1mm or 40 thousandths of an inch groove into the shaft. A final check of the fit on the pivot bracket, and I'm calling this end done. Then I reverse the shaft in the chuck to machine the opposite end so as to be a sliding fit in the post of the lamp arm. In a similar process to the other end, I take an initial cut, then measure the diameter, zero the graduated dial on the cross slide so that I have a reference point, and from there machine down to the final diameter. The next job is to drill out the centre to take the power cord. I'll do this by drilling from both ends, and to make sure I keep the shaft centred in the chuck, I use a felt pen to make a reference mark on the shaft and the chuck. I then reverse the shaft and the chuck, mainly because the other end of the chuck has already been centre drilled, which makes for an easy start to the drilling process. Then it was on to drilling out the centre. To avoid jamming the drill, I withdraw it regularly to clean out the swarf and re-lube. Having drilled to the full length of the drill from one end, I then reversed the shaft, taking care to match my index mark, and proceeded to drill from the other end. Same process as before, but this time starting with the centre drill. The shaft now has a hollow centre, and the final operation is to drill and tap a hole for the screw that will fix the post of the lamp arm to the shaft. With the post of the arm over its end of the shaft, I drill a 5mm diameter hole into the centre of one side of the shaft. The shaft was then removed from the arm and the hole tapped to M6, that is a thread diameter of 6mm and a pitch of 1mm. The parts of the new lamp base were now all completed, and of course I sent them to the paint shop so they get a nice coat of flat black to match the lamp head, which was being reused in the lamp. Back from paint, I did a trial assembly in the workshop. first mounting the bracket on a piece of wood. And then fitting the pivot shaft. Then came the lamp arm, into which I then threaded the lead from the lamp head before fitting it to the end of the arm. Then I secured the lamp head with its locking screw. Lifting the lamp unit off the base, I then threaded the lead down through the post of the arm and then through the centre of the pivot shaft. I then repositioned the arm on the pivot shaft and screwed it back in position. Finally, to complete the job, I have inserted a plastic plug in the lower end of the arm and the trial assembly was done. With the lamp assembled and working, it was a simple matter then to install it in our bedroom, and it looks like we'll get many years of use out of it. The build itself did not take that long, but the video did end up a bit long, which is why I cut it into two parts. And some places I've sped up bits and I've skipped over bits, and if you felt that there was something there that you really wanted to know about, then by all means hit me up in the comments down below. Ask the questions. I'm only too happy to go back over and explain or tell you what I did in more detail. If you've already subscribed, great. If you haven't already subscribed, would you like to subscribe? I'd appreciate it. And if you do, it's easy. Just hit the subscribe bar down below. While you're there, don't forget to ding the bell so that you'll get a reminder from YouTube or a notification from YouTube the next time an episode comes out on the White Dog Garage YouTube channel. Thank you once again for watching. I look forward to meeting you on another episode. Bye.